reputation back. Rochester's homicide rate hit an all-time record this past year.
We
Josh
live
Crusoe,
here. I had a hard
those
time.
are two big governor's wins, though, for Democrats. Gretchen
Getting
Whitmer
online.
and Kathy Hochul.
A big governor's win in
So
both those states, but I do
hopefully
want to point to
getting
New
on there. I'm
York
seeing
being a
it
rare
going on
bright
there.
spot for Republicans because Lee Zeldin may not win the governor's race,
gonna
but
be
he's
very
keeping it close
unprofessional
enough,
right now.
and he's capitalizing, as Dana said,
Very
on a very
troll.
pertinent issue of crime. And then
I'm gonna be
New
very
York City and
troll.
Rochester and
I'm gonna
Buffalo,
tell you
he's
right
capitalizing.
now,
There are a lot of
not
house races,
happy about
including
what's
that of
going
the House
on.
Campaign Committee chairman.
And I'm just
that
going to
Democrats
say
hold that are
that
in
we had the
danger
best
right now.
election.
So if Republicans
the best
get the
election I
House,
could have
it's
set
been
up.
a little bit
and it
disappointing
went
for
bad,
House Republicans
and I'm
right
not
now, but the
happy.
margin may end up being in New York State, where a lot of Republicans are doing quite well.
Great point.
Okay, from the White House, we can say that the president made these congratulatory calls. He tweeted out a shot of him on the phone, calling a number of different races, a number of different candidates, and
Probably calling his car's
finished with,
extended
if you're in
warranty
line to
is your
vote, remember, stay in line.
Your
from
extended
President
warranty
Biden.
is over.
So with that,
You did a good job, man.
Richie, any
Serious.
thoughts at this point
Look,
on the night?
Well,
no
we haven't
joke.
called North Carolina. Right?
Fucking idiot. He doesn't even know there's an election
and we
going on.
in our what if scenario, we counted that as red, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bud leads by 4 points.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
So Hochul wins as governor in New York.
We do have another governor call.
For all
in
you New
Minnesota.
Yorkians out there,
Tim Walz will
you
win
get
that.
exactly
Another big win for
what you
Democrats.
deserve.
This was
If
more
all of you
projected from the
fucking
beginning,
idiots
but Tim Walz will be
deserve
the
being
Republican
pushed
Jensen
onto
in
subway
that
tracks,
race, from
raped,
Minnesota. So the
robbed,
governor's races, there
killed,
are a number of them, obviously,
on a
out
daily
west that
basis. You're
Republicans are
walking down the
looking
street,
for,
you don't know what's going to happen
including
to you,
Arizona with Carrie
and
Lake.
you vote blue because they
And
voted
there is a
AOC
lot
back in and
coming
Chuck
as
Schumer.
far as
Not really
the raw vote
shocking,
total,
but just
those
in
are all
general.
too early to call.
Yeah, waiting for Oregon
And
as well, which has been an
New York,
interesting race to
New York
watch.
and
So the night
California
is
just
far
seem to be
from
full of
over.
the dumbest
We are counting down to our next
fucking
poll
people
closing
on
as
the
balance
planet.
of power in
Like,
Washington takes shape.
how
Before
much
our
abuse
eyes,
do you
Fox
have
News
to
Democracy
take
22 continues right after
before
this break. Stay
you
with
wake
us.
up?
What if?
Is this not enough? Is it that it hasn't happened to you personally?
Close to retirement.
You weren't
This
pushed
baby
onto
is
subway
out.
tracks.
Thanks
You
to
weren't
Wales.
robbed or murdered. Or a family member was
Ethnicity
murdered.
and heritage.
So
Nigerian East Central from you.
you're
Benin.
you're like, you know what? For the most part, the Democrats are good. I love it. I don't want a Republican
There's
here.
just still so much to
Democrats 100% all the
sale
way.
at Ancestry.
Push me on subway tracks 2023. If anyone who watches this stream now or later on, if you get to it after this is over, can explain to me
Sensodyne, sensitivity, and gum.
the
Relieve
Democratic
sensitivity
thought process
and
or
improves gum
your
health.
thought process
Forward is
of
tools
the
that
Democrats are
coincide to help
destroying
you
this
navigate
country,
the
they're
buying
tearing it
experience.
down. They
So
hate
you
it.
can move on
They
to
hate
what's
you.
next.
You think they're there for you, they're not. They don't even know who you
PNC
are.
Bank. See how we can make a difference for you.
And you think that voting for Democrats is a good idea and is good for you and your family, or just good for you.
Are you planning a paper mache
Can you please explain to
It
me
is keeping track of fuel
your thought
costs is like another
process?
full-time
I
job
would
to business
love, I
owners
would
like
love,
me.
but
Well, with Fleet Cards USA, it
I
doesn't
want to
have
understand
Fleet
where
Cards
you're coming
USA
from
can help
and
you
why
with that.
you vote the way
They'll
you
find
vote.
a
It's
Fleet card to track your spending with some great analytics.
this
save you
didn't end
money
up
on
being a
company
red
fuel
wave. It
expenses
ended up
while
being a
delivering
red
convenient
tide or
reports.
maybe a red whatever the fuck they were saying, right? There were wins here. They were good. J.D. Vance took Ohio. DeSantis and Rubio took Florida. You know, they were. Ohio was tough, and we won it. That was good. And in other ones where we should, because it makes common sense.
Can lower your ability to fight infections,
We didn't.
including TB, serious
Connecticut
infections of
State
blood
Blue,
clots, some fatal, cancers,
and there's
including lymphoma and
shootings
skin
and
cancer,
violence
death,
and
heart
crime.
attack,
I've got a
stroke,
police
and tears in the
scanner,
stomach or
and I
intestines
get
occur.
updates on it
People
every
50 and
day.
older with at least
There's
one heart
robberies,
disease risk
there's
factor have
thefts,
higher
there's
risks.
murders,
Don't
there's
take if
cops
allergic to
being
Rinvoq.
shot.
A serious
And people,
reactions
and
can
these
occur.
fucking
Tell your doctor if you
retards.
are
That's
or
all I
may
can think
become
of.
pregnant.
Retards.
Disrupts the itch and
In
rash
these
of
blue
eczema.
states are like, yeah, Democrats, yeah, I want more of this
Learn how
thing.
AbbVie can help you save.
Like, until it happens to you, it hasn't happened to you, you don't get it.
Get 50%
You
off
want it
trees
to happen to
in-store and
you.
online and get Black
I don't-
Friday
I don't get
prices
it.
now on select trees. Plus, earn up to 6%
When I
in
vote,
Michael's rewards. Hurry in. Sale
I don't
ends
just
November
vote
12th.
for me and
How
my
can you be sure
family.
you're getting the right deal?
I
have to talk
vote
to my
for
bestie.
This one's like your last
the
boyfriend.
things that at
For the
least
right
in my
used car,
opinion,
just say, show
are
me
going to
the
be good
Carfax
for
file.
everyone.
You'll get the most accurate price based on the
I
vehicle's
don't want
accident
people
history.
to be
Shop at
robbed.
the all-new Carfax.com.
I don't want people to be raped. I don't want people to
Holiday
be
Hills,
murdered.
Illinois,
I don't want people's
Rudolph,
the
Wisconsin.
doors in their home to be
From
kicked
Santa
in
Claus, Indiana.
by
to Snowflake,
robbers who
Arizona.
are trying to get in there and take advantage of them.
From
I don't want
Garland,
those
Texas,
things.
to
So my
North
vote
Pole, New
reflects
York,
that
and everywhere in
when I go to the
between.
polls and I vote.
We're holiday ready with
When you
fast
have
and
these
reliable
fucking
delivery
idiot
serving
leftist
every
Democrats
address in America. The
That
United
vote
States Postal
more
Service.
blue, more Democrat, more all of that. They're voting for
Welcome back to
maybe
Democracy
they're in a safe
2022,
space. I don't really
11:35
know.
On the East Coast, we have some races too
But
close
they're
to
voting
call. If you didn't think
for
it was
you to
too
be
close
fucked.
to call, 49.0 to 49.0 is
So
pretty
dead
amazing.
heat,
With
Georgia.
a difference of 756 votes in the state of Georgia. We've already called the governor's race there, Governor Kemp. We expect him to come out and speak to his supporters. We'll take you there when he does. But his spread much bigger over Stacey Abrams, and we will see. There's a number of
And to get away
pockets
from
of
a
votes
runoff,
still
one of
left
them needed to hit 50%.
in Georgia
So now it's going to go to a
that
runoff.
could come in,
It's
and we'll
gonna
get
go to fucking
wonky on that
December
in just a
6th.
minute.
Because
Gonna take while,
Walker's a
get an
fucking
answer in
idiot.
Pennsylvania as well, but here's how it stacks up right now: 48 to 49. With
Oz
Fetterman
is
in the
is
lead
lung
at this moment, and 76%
to a
of
guy
vote in, and as we told
who
you,
had a stroke
that
and
is
is
on
almost
Maryland first, and
effectively
then they start
brain
counting
dead.
the day of.
Okay, let's go out to Arizona. In the Senate race there, we are at 48% in, and there is a lead for incumbent Senator Mark Kelly. Again,
Arizona
that's
loves
also early
having
vote.
illegals and having
Day
laws
of is
broken and
going to be
murder
coming
and
in,
thefts.
we
Apparently,
expect
that's
soon.
Arizona.
That's the spread
This is
as of
good for
now.
them.
Nevada Senate, let's take a look at this one, which would be a pickup for Republicans if they can win it. So far, we've only seen holds in these Senate races for the red team. This is Cortez Masto and Laxalt, too close to call.
At 0%. North Carolina Senate.
It's 0 to 0.
It's 0 to
in Nevada.
Close to call it 0.
95% in, and this
So why am I
is,
following
I
Fox
think, a
News?
race
They called
that is
Arizona
going to be
early
called soon
in
with,
the
Ted
presidential
Budd
election.
moving
These fucking
ahead.
idiots don't know
This
what's
would
going
be
on.
a hold for Republicans, but it seems like it's getting close. We just haven't made a call
Okay,
yet. They're looking for some
Republicans are
extra
taking North and South
vote
Carolina.
total, but it could
Just
be getting
partially.
close at any time.
All
We're
right.
going to take you to Ohio.
Let's go to
now.
Ohio, where J.D. Vance, who will be the next senator from Ohio, and then we'll get you back to that Arizona governor's race, which you can see there. But here's
J.D. Vance
Mr.
took
Vance's
Ohio.
podium.
At
on a
least
good night for him.
some of
Let's
their
watch.
brains are functioning in Ohio.
I believe I'm the last thing standing between you all and a very, very fun night of celebration. So I'll try to keep my remarks pretty brief here. The first thing I gotta say is just, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. Really, I cannot say thank you enough. I cannot express.
And my hope is that just some of these are not in enough to call.
I just want to say,
And again, Republicans are winning. It's as some of what they've said. It is not to the degree of what they've said. Or what they estimated, and their defense is estimates. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what morons are going to come out and vote that are like, I like being robbed and pushed onto train tracks. Yay!
What the hell is going on?
Fucking morons. It's,
I want to thank.
I've never been pushed onto train tracks. I don't know what people's problems are.
Aunt Wee, everybody.
You're just waiting for when it happens to you?
The entire list here, but Uncle Jimmy, Aunt Don.
Like
it's
you
funny.
live
my
in New
family
York.
helps keep me grounded
You live
as
in
we were walking
California.
Down here, my aunt said to my
You
uncle,
don't see
"Aren't
what's
you glad
happening.
that he
You
won
don't
from a
pay
terrible
attention. Your head is so
ride
far
home?"
up your ass that you can't see
That's what
tomorrow.
we're thinking here in the Vance family.
Like you see
We're-
how other people are
we're
suffering,
staying
and you
on top
go,
of the important
nah.
stuff.
But you'll donate
I
to some
could not
fucking
have
kids
done
in
this.
Africa
Could not
that
have won
need
this
food and
race,
don't
could
have
not
clothes.
had
But in the
what
meantime, your
we have here
neighbors
tonight. I mean, look,
in your
the
city and
governor
your state
and the lieutenant governor
are suffering.
crushed it.
They've lost
Every other
someone. They've
statewide
lost a
office
family member.
crushed
They've
it.
lost a friend. They've lost their own life, and you're going, yeah, but I haven't been stabbed by a
I'm
homeless
so
person.
grateful to
I haven't
Mike
been pushed
DeWine
on a
and John
subway
Houston. I'm so
tracks.
grateful to Bob
I haven't had
Panucek
my car
for
robbed or
helping
my
us
door
cobble
kicked in.
together
I don't know what you're
a
talking
unified
about.
Republican team.
How can you just
And we
ignore
won, and we won big, ladies
what
and
is
gentlemen. What
happening?
an incredible thing. Oh my lord.
where you live. It makes no sense to me. Illinois, Chicago, a fucking murder
J.D.
shithole.
Vance came to prominence as the author of
And they're voting Democrat. Let's keep this going, man. Shoot me right in the fucking head. What is wrong with these people? Please, somebody, go under the comments, email me. ReliefValvePodcast@AOL.com. Comment on the show. Can you fucking explain it to me? I don't get it. How can you vote for the worst shit that you can ever receive? It's a kick in the nuts or a punch in the face. The Democrats are kicking me in the nuts. What I'm really scared about is the Democrat might punch me in the face. Really? You want to keep getting the kick in the nuts just to be on the safe side? And maybe the kick in the nuts turns into a bullet in the head. What the fuck is wrong with you? I cannot figure it out. I would love for someone to explain it to me. I cannot figure it out. I don't trust the Republicans. They're mean and they're awful and they don't like what I'm doing. It's not Republicans pushing you on the subway tracks and shooting you and robbing you. It's not Republicans. It's not conservatives. There's criminals, there's left-wings, there's Democrats that's doing it to you. Even calling yourself a Democrat is fucking insane to me. What the Democrats have been doing in this country for years, since Osama bin Laden, since Bill Clinton, now and Joe Biden, you have to even pay a small portion of attention to what's happening. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's corrupt regime. Everybody has it shoving Green New Deal garbage down your throat that there's no way to live for you. Unless you buy a Tesla or some fucking electric car, there's a ridiculous price. While you're paying for your house, you're paying for your life and your responsibilities, and they want you to do more and more and more because they tell you to have to, or if not, the temperature's going to go up 1 degree. You got to mutilate your child, or you're just not cool. You're not cool enough if you don't trans your kid.
We love y'all.
If you don't get an experimental needle in your arm that can threaten your life, you're not cool either.
We did not get distracted.
All of you think this is a good idea? Like, I just don't get it. I'm so tired of
putting you first throughout my first term.
The letdown.
We woke up every single day
when we come into
about
this.
how to build
And
a safer,
it's supposed to be a red wave. It's supposed to be everybody's waking up. They're figuring out. They're going to vote differently. And then everything comes in and it's this.
40-year high inflation.
The fact to me
And we did that
there are this many stupid people in the United States. This many that are glutton for punishments. You haven't woken up yet. How many more kicks in the nut do you need? How many more needles and experimental drugs in bad situations do you need? More? You need more? I don't need more, and I've only gone through half of it, and I don't need more. You need more. Well, we need some Democrats. We can't have the Republicans in control 100%. There needs to be some Democrats. Please tell me what the Democrats have done for you. Please give me a legitimate argument, a legitimate debate, and not crazy emotional shit. Well, they supported me when I tucked my penis and I said I'm a woman, and they were just there for me. That's not an argument. It's like me saying I wanted to be an elephant and the Democrats supported me in being an elephant, and the Republicans don't want me to be an elephant because they said I'm not an elephant and I'm upset about it. It's not a fucking argument. Come up with a legitimate debate to explain to me why you think Democrats staying in power in multiple states is a positive. Explain it to me. Bet you can't. Because it's fucking insane. Why? They're putting money on your EBT card? They gave you a couple extra bucks when you were home from work during COVID? Or you didn't want to go back to work because you're lazy? What do you want? What is it going to take? Do you have to die? Does your kid have to die? Other people are dying. I voted not just for me and my family, but because other people are dying. Other people are suffering. This country's suffering under Democratic rule. Do I need more considering? I'm more pushing? I don't.
Brian Kemp
You do?
winning
Why?
re-election with bigger spread here.
Explain it to me.
And
I don't
is
understand
obviously
it.
in the wake of the change of the voter law in
need
Georgia.
someone to
that was called
legitimately
Jim Crow
explain it to me.
2.0, not only by Stacey Abrams, but by President Biden. More people voted early
Sir,
than ever
10
before.
seats left to play
and the
in
numbers
the
were
Senate.
up in
It's
Georgia. But he goes on
totally
to
up in
cruise
the
to
air,
victory.
maybe not
Also,
even
someone
happening. It's
as a
gonna be so
governor
close
who
that
opened up his
Republicans
state quickly
won't
after
have the
COVID.
majority they
I want to
really
head
need
back
to work with.
Harris.
And granted,
voters.
there were weak
Yes, voters'
Republican
voices. Real
senators
quickly,
running.
We had quite the discussion,
fair
Carter
enough.
and I, our pollster
But
on board tonight, with our
I
audience
would
about
vote for
education.
anyone that was
And it got a
red,
little
period,
tricky.
as
We're
long
gonna
as they were
Chris
going to
now.
push
And Chris, first of all, tell us where
agendas
you're from,
that the
and then
country
take it away.
needs.
I know you're an educator.
So we're going to take the House. Now we're going to
Jersey Shore
trade.
area,
Right?
and Bayshore
So we didn't have the
area,
House, we didn't have the
and
Senate.
I am a teacher.
Now we're going to
teacher
get
of
the
social
House
studies.
pretty
I
strongly.
teach high school students.
And we're still going to have a
And,
struggle in the
when I
Senate.
teach,
While we try to
I
fight
like to utilize the
a
Constitution
corrupt,
and
dementia-ridden
carry it with
Nazi
me,
president.
primary source documents, and
That's what Biden is. He
you know,
wants
we've
to
been
he wants to
seeing a
take
lot of
away
patterns
free
in
speech.
New Jersey,
He wants to shove
especially
needles
with
in your arm.
parents
He wants to
getting
threaten
more
your job.
involved
He wants to
in
mutilate your
education
children.
and in
He wants to
how
start
their
World
students
War
are educated.
III.
It's actually been going on
After they
for a
accused
while
Trump
in
of doing
Jersey.
all of this.
So, Chris, I'm going to step in. And
Sure.
Bernice, would you like to pick up here? Because you guys were going at it a little while ago.
Yes, well,
Unbelievable.
earlier we were discussing about what should be taught. And there's a lot of
So
hoopla
J.D.
about
Vance takes
teaching
Ohio.
critical
That's good.
race
We need
theory.
Ohio.
We were talking about parental involvement in education. And my what I said is that we should teach the truth. And we should not teach history because some people may feel uncomfortable with
Pennsylvania is
it. And that's when
potentially
Chris
going
and
to
I
go to a
had
runoff
gotten
if it's
into
close
an
enough.
exchange.
Chris, you want
even
a last
though
word?
Mohammed
Sure.
Ali sucks
Well, you
as
know, when you teach the
candidate.
truth, you teach both sides. You teach it
You
fairly.
people-
you want to make
and
everybody
it's
feel
not just
welcoming in the classroom.
Oz
you don't
can't
want
beat
to
Fetterman.
make anybody
It's
feel
that
excluded. 'cause
fucking
that
idiots in
exclusion, when you
Pennsylvania
try to be
decided that a
inclusive,
stroke
you're being
victim
exclusive.
who
And
can't
boy,
talk
and
at all,
I knew that somebody would have
who can't form sentences,
We're going to
who
wrap
can't
it up.
communicate
You guys,
with you,
thank you.
has the potential to be a good senator.
Children and brown children have felt
What?
excluded
All right,
and
guys.
not part of that
It's
conversation.
like, yeah, I'm going to take a
But
flight
now, when we're
to another
starting to talk
country,
about teaching
but I
the
prefer to
truth
have the blind
of
pilot.
history, we have to
Can
worry
we do
about
that?
feelings.
I do
If you
want
don't
to
give
point
me the
out
blind
that while
pilot,
this conversation has been going on,
gonna be
pretty much as a
concerned that
backdrop
you're
tonight on
a
education,
racist
it is
and you're
a
a
hot
bigot.
one. We saw Governor Glenn
blind
Youngkin
pilot,
on with Brett
please,
Martha
to
earlier.
take me to
This
Europe.
will be an
Thank
issue that
you.
persists long beyond this midterm election. I know
fuck
it's
is
popped
wrong
up in
with
your
you?
research too.
Fetterman is
So
a stroke
thank you for
victim.
your
He's brain
transparency. I know
dead.
it's not always
He
easy
cannot
to sit
function
next
in
to
the
each
job,
other
and
have,
he's holding
you
his
know,
own.
disagreements, but we really
This
appreciate
should
it, and
be-
it's been a joy to have you
this
guys
should
in the
be
studio tonight. Thank you
over
for
now.
being with
We
us.
shouldn't be discussing it.
Having these
76%
very
of the
important
vote
conversations. We wanted to pull back the
in
veil a little bit so
Pennsylvania,
they
and
could
it's still a
see
dead
what it was
heat.
like while we were here behind the scenes as well.
I have
as
to
what
wonder.
everybody
I've
gets to
driven
enjoy
through
on the screen
Pennsylvania.
as well.
I know I
What
wanted to
we
get
saw
through
tonight, the
Pennsylvania as
issues
quickly
that
as
will
I
shape
possibly
our
could.
families and our communities and our nation for the next 2
know
years
that,
and
but
beyond. Thank you to Lee Carter and for
this
all
many
of
stupid
your
people there?
excellent insights and the
Wasn't aware
work
of
that you
that.
do on calling viewers
Georgia.
as well. And thank you
Again,
for watching.
another-
Our coverage continues
another
well
dead
into
heat.
the night.
Walker's
so
awful.
keep it right here on the Fox
Warnock
News
is a
channel. Now back to
leftist
Brett and
radical.
Martha.
Harris, nice job.
Who's a
Thanks
wonderful
everybody in studio
pastor
there. Really
who's also
fascinating
kicking
conversation.
people out of the
Thank you
properties
very
he
much,
owns for
Harris,
being like
and all the
$100
group in there,
behind on
the
their
viewers
rent.
who joined us tonight.
You want Warnock?
Let's bring back our panel and see where they're thinking at this point.
In a red state.
You know, when you look at some of the numbers that are projected right now
Again,
for the House, it
please,
is
someone,
not what was anticipated.
Explain it to
and
me in
not
a
what Republicans had
rational
hoped
manner.
so
Don't
far.
bring the
It looks like
emotion
it's gonna
into
be
it.
closer to
I'm
20 than
Democrat
30,
and Republican
and,
bad, Democrat
that, you know,
good.
that's a reasonable,
and that's my
number
reasoning.
for this year, given that they picked up
Explain
14
to me
seats
why
last
you
time
think
around,
you're going to
but-
be better with
but
this
so
person.
far, not
in any of these
meeting the
states, in any of
expectations of
these,
a lot of people that
in
this
any of
was going to
these
be a
cities and
gigantic
towns,
wave on
explain to me how
the
things are going to
nature
be
of
better.
1994 or 2010.
And explain to me how you're not
But,
paying
you know,
attention
in a way, it was never
to
gonna be
what's
because
happening
we had a head
because
start.
it's
There's
selfish.
a natural ceiling
And
to
it's
the number
stupid
of
on
members
your
that
part
either party can
that you
have in
see other
Congress.
people suffering and
Republicans
you
reached
go,
their modern high.
I haven't been pushed
with
on train tracks. I haven't
247,
been
I
pushed
think
on
it
subway
is,
tracks. I haven't
in
been shot.
2014,
I haven't
and
been robbed.
redistricting changed the dynamic of
I haven't
that, so
been
we
raped.
could never get
get to 240.
I don't know what your problem
We're going to
is.
get to somewhere in the two.
Just don't get
in the
raped. Don't get
230s.
robbed.
Do you think there's a path? What
Don't
you're
get
saying
killed.
to
And don't
Senate
get pushed on the
control?
subway tracks.
Yeah,
Real
but it's,
simple.
we've got a couple of very
Like, I
tough
vote
races
so that it
here.
doesn't
One that's
fucking
likely
happen to me.
End up with a. With
I don't
a
need to
Senate
learn the
support
lesson
for
after the
Georgia.
fact.
So, yes, but right now, Republicans are. They were hoping for a clear and convincing win in Pennsylvania,
Colorado.
which makes
Everyone's on
everything easy.
drugs.
On the
That's the
other
only
hand,
thing I
it
can
looks
think of
like they're on their
Colorado is
way
everything
to a
everyone's
very
on
strong
drugs.
showing in Nevada, and frankly, we've held up better in
Which would be a
in
good
Georgia
time,
than
I
I would have
guess.
thought, given the nature there.
Until you
One
sober
thing
up and
is-
run out of it and realize, oh,
one
fuck,
thing-
I see who's running Colorado. I'm
J.D.
sober
Vance did
now,
a
and that
smart
sucks.
thing by starting off his list of thank yous by
I don't know what
thanking
else
Governor
to
Mike
do.
DeWine. Think about this. Mike
New
DeWine runs
Hampshire
for
being
re-election
called for,
and wins by a
Maggie Hassan, the
25.8%
freedom,
margin.
live free or
and
die.
J.D. Vance wins by 7 points. That was the top of the ticket.
Also,
If we'll take a
trans
look
your
at
kids
Georgia,
and,
there's a good reason why Herschel Walker is in the hunt, and it's because Brian Kemp is winning by a substantial margin.
New Hampshire.
I suspect we're likely to see the same kind of thing play out
Okay.
in Nevada. We saw the
Live
opposite
free
in
or
Pennsylvania,
die.
where the
We'll
governor's
just cut out the first
candidate
part
was
and
a
just do the
drag at the
second
top
part.
of the ticket. We don't know what
That's
the
what you
outcome
fucking
there
idiots
is
wanna do.
yet, but it's
I live
clear
in the
that,
country, and I don't
it
care what
helps to have
happens
a
unless I got a
popular
gun. The
governor
Democrats are gonna take
running
guns.
for
What the fuck are you voting
office.
for, idiot?
Saw it in Florida, even when
Live
Martha
free or
Newberry
die,
has been
or
there
just
for
die.
several terms, has a well-defined image, and comes
North
from
Carolina.
Miami-Dade. That was his political
Ted Bundy
strength
is
area to
leading.
begin with when he ran the first time. And again for re-election, but
At least
nonetheless
a little
this
bit
time
with
around having
95%,
DeSantis
so
at the
North
top
Carolina
of the
is
ticket.
going to be close.
Every statewide office in Florida
Florida's
today
a
is
freedom
Republican.
state.
They flipped
The
last
entire
remaining
country needs to move to
Democrat,
Florida or
the,
Texas.
The
That's the only thing I
ag
can think
commissioner's
of.
office, and
You
they
need to
now have a
abandon the North
supermajority
entirely.
in both
I need to
houses
do it. I'll
of
tell
the
you what, when I
legislature. They
retire,
picked
I'm
up
getting the
4
fuck out of the
seats,
North.
added 4 seats
Fuck the
to
Democrats.
Republican U.S.
Fuck
House.
these blue
So that's
states.
the story
If I
for
could go to a
Republicans. By
red
the way, we
state
can
right
get you a
now,
black shirt.
that's exactly what I would do. I would already be
Maybe
gone.
the color thing. I couldn't get the red one out.
Why I would want to be
Someone's been
ruled by
playing on my
Democrats
bag.
who hate me, hate
I
my
thought the
values,
political conditions
hate
were
freedom,
such
and hate this
that
country
would,
is
suggest a
beyond
red
me.
wave.
What do these
Polling
Democrats
said I was.
want?
And I was
And these
skeptical.
leftists want for this
The
country,
polls-
like,
the polls held up
you
pretty
hate
well.
it, you hate the
They
Constitution,
call these
you hate
races
freedom,
close. They've turned out
you
to be
hate freedom of
close one way or the other.
speech,
Certainly
you
within the
hate
margins
gun
of error.
ownership.
The polls held up pretty well.
I-
One other thing
I-
was the Trump-backed
But you also hate
so
Russia
far,
because
it's 1-1.
this could just
He
be
lost
Russia.
Trump-backed Bolduc, the Senate candidate.
You can have no rights, you can
Trump-backed
have no
Bolduc, he
freedom, you
lost.
can be told by
He
a
backed-
dictator
he
what to
backed,
do. And
J.D.
this is what you
Vance,
want,
he's won.
communism and
He looks
dictatorship.
like Ted Budd, another Trump-backed candidate.
And
who's also
why
had
don't you leave
support
here and go to
of
Russia or
the
Venezuela or something? What the fuck
maverick
you
candidate.
think? You want to turn this into that and then also stay? I guarantee all of you idiots will be crying as soon as that happens.
There are two effects of an election like this. One is
Arizona,
the
at
political
least right
effect.
now, but less
Did
than
you
half
beat
is in.
expectations?
Mark
What
Kelly
momentum
is
did you
over
have?
Blake Masters.
The Democrats feel good. Does Biden get a big message out of this? The other is a practical effect. The practical effect
Nevada
is
still has nothing. I
Republicans
don't know
get
what the
control of the
fuck's
House of
going on with
Representatives. His
South
legislative
Carolina looks
agenda
like it's going red. At
cannot
least
be
their
the kind of
brains are
legislative
functioning.
agenda he
Gone
had
to Tim Scott,
for the last 2 years
62%
because it will go nowhere in the House of
37%
Representatives,
to
and it won't
Crystal
matter who controls the
Matthews.
Senate.
75% of the vote.
But the political effect, I think, is likely to be a lot milder for him. Will this encourage him to run again? Hey, I came out unscathed. I don't look like the guy that dragged my party.
Shut up, idiot. All right. You fucking idiots have no clue what's going on. So, Washington State. They're so close to California, they just want to be California. I don't know. Patty Murray leading over Tiffany Smiley, 57-42. 57% of the state reporting. Alaska is still completely frozen. But the polls close at 1 a.m., so a different time frame. So when the polar bears come and smack you in the face, it's time to start figuring things out. I don't know. So we got the House races here. All right, so the Republicans are supposed to take the House pretty strongly. It's gonna be strongly. It's gonna be the best. We're gonna have the House. It's gonna be the best House. Frank J. Mervyn still leading over Jennifer Ruth Green. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who the fuck these people are. Just why you wouldn't vote Republican regardless. And this isn't my personal bias, okay? I'm a conservative. I voted red across the board in Connecticut, not that it made a difference. I didn't know what exactly everyone's personal thoughts were. I didn't care. We just needed Republicans in. And I know Democrats are doing the same thing. So, all right, fair enough. You got me there, I guess. But there's a method to my madness in voting straight Republican. And that it's very clearly Democrats have failed us across the board in every issue that there is possible to be an issue to fail. That's my method. What is yours? You like more failure? 2022, more failure? Again, what is your thought process for voting Democrat despite living and breathing all of their failings? Are you believing everything that MSNBC says to you? Are you believing everything that CNN says to you? Because I don't just watch Fox News and Daily Wire and Louder with Crowder and all that. I see the CNN and the MSNBC too. I see what they're saying. And I'm able to differentiate and realize that they're full of shit. I can tell their lies in real time. They don't give you the truth, or they give you a very twisted, convoluted version of the truth. And if you think, well, whatever the Republicans are trying to scare me with, it hasn't happened to me. It might be happening to these other people that I don't know and I never see. But it hasn't happened to me. That violence hasn't happened to me. So you believe it won't? You're so deluded that you believe it won't. That person that was sitting in the subway waiting for the subway train in New York, I bet they thought if I just keep my head down and mind my business, a person won't shove me onto the tracks. But it happened. The person who said, I can drive through this part of town and I won't have any issues. I won't get robbed. I won't get a gun pointed in my face. But it happened. The woman who said, I can walk down the street, I can go home and I won't get raped. Or I won't get raped by a homeless person, a crazy homeless person, which has also happened. You believe it won't happen to you? My house won't be broken into because, yeah, my state's blue and it's crazy in some parts, but I'm fine where I am. You don't believe it'll happen to you? Of course it can. You think that these criminals that the Democrats are releasing, that attorney generals are releasing, with no bail after they hurt people, that they're going, you know what? The person I'm not going to attack and assault is that Democratic voter who's not worried about me. Because I care about people who support Democrats. You think any of them are thinking about that? The Democrats don't care about you. That's why they're releasing all of these people. And that's why when they get hurt, when you get hurt, they're still not thinking about you. Kathy Hochul in New York has beat a Republican, and she hasn't done a single thing to fix crime in New York. She just said, well, we're working on it. In the meantime, when you see that for real in the news and real information, you see that everyone that's arrested for crimes in New York is released with no bail. And then they go and they harm somebody else other than you, or that other person you didn't think of. And they hurt them, they raped them, they killed them, and you don't care about them because the only thing you cared about was equity. That POC, that person of color, they didn't stay locked up because life's unfair for them. So it was fine that they went out and they hurt someone else. It's mind-boggling to me how this goes. And one of the other things that frustrates me, because I've been following the Daily Wire today. And I like them. I follow them. I'm a subscriber, Louder with Crowder and all that too. And I wanted to see what they had to say and their coverage of all of this. And Ben Shapiro defending some of the Republicans that have been in for far too long, the Mitch McConnells and the Kevin McCarthys. And he's talking about what's going on, and he's talking about how Mitch McConnell didn't put more money into other races and didn't support other Republican candidates because they were hedging their bets, and they went over here and supported this one, and they left this other one hanging out to dry because they thought there's no chance they're going to win where they are. And they're the problem too. When I started this show, and I know you're people that are going to listen to this show, and you're going to do the audio, you're going to follow the live stream, and you're going to go, this guy, there's no brain to mouth filter. He just talks shit and he says things, and I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate some of the information I'm getting. I don't appreciate the things that he has to say. And that's some of the problem that we're dealing with now in life and in politics. I bet more than once you've thought about Joe Schmo winning office, right? Joe Schmo or Jane Schmo being president. Just a working class person. They're not in politics. They're not in the swamp and in the game. They're just a regular person like you and I. What if we put them in office and they gave a shit about what we were all going through? That's what we need in office now. And that's why I started this show, because I didn't want to be filtered. I didn't want to be told that what I'm saying isn't kosher, it's not appropriate, I'm not handling it the proper political way. In my personal opinion, I don't know about all of you, in my personal opinion, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the political pundits who, no matter how much they claim that they're branching off and they're doing things a different way, whether they're on the Democrat side or the Republican side, whether they're a Ben Shapiro who's really smart, or they're a Democrat on CNN or MSNBC who's going, we're new and we have a new way of doing things. If you really pay attention, they're still doing it the same. And they're not saying what needs to be said. They're not just coming right out with that brutal, vulgar truth. Some people find it hard to swallow. That's what happened when Trump was in office. Bear with me here for a minute. I don't care if you love Trump, you hate Trump, or you don't know how you feel. When he came in, he did something that we as human beings in this political landscape, in this life, hadn't seen, at least in our lifetime, up to this point. He spoke his mind and he just talked shit. He just said it. Even if some things were stupid. Even though he took his jabs and his little barbs and he didn't even really need to do them. He still just said it. And it's what doesn't happen right now. Anyone here, if you're that's watching, if you're watching a Republican speak or you're watching a Democrat speak, you know that you have to break down and get the fucking encoder out like it's the, us versus the Nazis, and break down the code of what the fucking person's saying, right? They don't just say it. They don't come right out and say what I'm saying to you right now. They say, well, there's some other elements that don't agree with us, and they're not helping society, and we don't need them in our society. What we need is just focus on the betterment of the other portion of America, and making their lives better and doing the things that needs to help, because those other ones, they're negative and they're bringing us down and they're holding us back, and we should all try and be together, but we can't be together. And so we do what we can, and then you have to break down and interpret what that person just said, which is fuck the other ones that don't agree with me and you, and let's focus on me and you. And if those other ones don't get on board, if they don't smarten up and get on board, fuck them. That's what that talk just said. But you have to really stop and break it all down to get what that candidate is saying to you. Biden comes on and he says, I'm Mr. Unity. I'm going to bring everyone together. I'm going to bring the Democrats and the Republicans. America needs unity. We need to stop fighting and all this other bullshit. He's only talking about the ones who are willing to meet in the middle and agree with each other, not the other parts that don't agree with him. The other parts, excuse me, that don't agree with him can go fuck yourselves. And he'll focus on the Republicans who will betray their constituents and vote with Democrats, and the Democrats who will betray some of their constituents and will meet in the middle and meet with the Republicans and with Biden. But he's not going to say anything that to you, because the better message, at least saying that out loud, is Mr. Unity. I want to bring everyone together. But he doesn't. And if he said what was really, and sometimes he slips up, sometimes they say the quiet part out loud. But if he came right out and said what was on his mind, or any other Republican or any other Democrat, and they stopped sugarcoating everything, you might really be able to make a solid decision about what you're dealing with. And for me, when I started the show, the Relief Valve podcast, I wasn't interested in being PC, even if that turned people off. Even if it pushed people away. Because if I pretend and I go 100% the political way, 100% the kosher way, middle of the road, and I can do that. But then I'm no different than the other fake sugar-coated shit you're already getting. So how does that help you at all? At least you can decide if you're on one side and you're a Democrat and you hate me and what I'm saying, at least you can be clear about it and figure it out. And if you're conservative on the other side and you can figure out you like what I'm saying or you got some problems with it, either way you can all figure it out. And what I think we need more of is real talk, girl, and stop bullshitting. And some of this just fucking frustrates me. They got this fucking bitch on here on.
You're encouraging me that we kept the house, and now you're depressing me that
on
the former president has lost
Daily Wire, and I don't know, I forget who this bitch's name is, but she's
I said it earlier.
she's a conservative pundit as well.
Qualified from leading the Republican Party because he went out of his way.
And now she's trying to change the narrative
When he lost the election in 2020, he went out of his way to
of
make sure
what
the Republicans
she's
did not
saying,
control the Senate. He told people for a month, do not vote.
out of what their thoughts were originally. And it's, well, you know what? I know that we got some wins on the Republican side, and then we lost some. But I'm okay with a split government. I'm okay with checks and balances. I had another friend from work say the same thing. I like checks and balances. I like. This is her talking right now. I'm having a brain fart. I can't think of her fucking name. I don't like her anyway. But I like the checks and balances. Some Democrats, some Republicans. It keeps everyone honest, and it's making excuses for the fact that we didn't get the red wave. So you got to roll it back, and you got to come up with.
We're grateful. We owe it all to you. DeSantis owes it all to you.
Something to somehow twist this and turn it into a win. And that's what all the political pundits do. How can I take this thing that's maybe mediocre one way or another and spin it all to you and make it some sort of a win?
He will take a pot shot at DeSantis within the next
And it isn't, and it hurts people. People are still going to suffer after this is over.
Maybe I'm too online, or maybe I have too many.
You can say, oh, well, because the Republicans didn't win 100% across the board. Well, yeah. But also the Republicans that did win, they need to be new blood. They need to be a new idealism. And they need to get rid of the Mitch McConnells and the other old guard that's in there that knows how to play the game, but not in a good way that benefits people. They know how to play the game to benefit themselves, stay in office, and keep going. And they're the ones that need to go. Not only on the Democratic side, on the Republican side as well. And you say, well, on the Democratic side,
I recognize all of Donald Trump's flaws.
okay, the Democrats have new people coming into, that younger thing, the Squad, AOC, and the others, and they're garbage. They're even worse than the old school Democrats because they don't even have what little morals they already had. They don't even have those. They want to go socialist. They want to go communist. They're even worse. But at least when you're, as a Democrat, you're voting for whether you've deluded yourself or whether you think it's a great idea. You know what you're voting for. You know what I'm voting for shit and I'm getting shit. I'm voting for AOC because I'm a moron. I have no idea what's going on. I like socialism. I want communism, even though I have no idea what real socialism and communism is. And she's so fresh and so face and so awesome. And I follow her Instagram in AOC. Like, at least you're stupid and deluded enough to know what you're getting. When you've got a Mitch McConnell on the Republican side, he's, wherever the political wind ends up blowing that will benefit the old school Republican Party, that's the way he'll end up going. Or he'll follow your values in the beginning that you feel strongly about. And as soon as it shifts and he needs to make a move to win that chess game, he'll sacrifice you to win the chess game. It won't matter what your ideals are anymore. And again, my starting the show is to do, and like I referenced earlier, you don't like Trump, you don't like his wording, you don't like his tweets, all of that stuff, right? Separate that for a moment and just focus on some of the things that he did that took us away from the norm. And the norm is not always a good thing. Generally, the norm can be a good thing, but not 100% of the time. Trump came in and he spoke his mind, whether you liked it or not. Where the other candidates, you've got to break out your decoder and you've got to decode what they're saying because they're not interested in being honest with you. He just said it. Love it or hate it. But at least you knew what you were getting. At least you could really make a decision at that point on where you were at when you were hearing it. Can you do it with your candidates on either side of the aisle? No. There are some New Age Republicans and New Age Democrats that are just the AOCs or the Blake Masters or whatever on either side of the aisle that are coming out and just saying what's on their mind. And for you and me, we can go, they're fucking nuts. But at least you were able to very clearly say that they were nuts. You got it. And then if you supported them anyway, that's on you. You can't turn around later on and go, I didn't know they were like that. Like bullshit. You knew that's what you wanted, that's what you voted. You wanted an AOC, you wanted the other members of the Squad. You know exactly what they are. You know they're anti-Semite. You know they hate the Jews. And you know they hate America. You know they want socialism. You know they want communism. You can't bullshit anybody and say you didn't know. But it's amazing, and you can say, well, Matt, you know what? the same as these people are with how much they support the Democrats and how much they push that. You're like that with the Republicans and what they're pushing on their side. Well, you can't claim I'm crazy if I'm supporting people that make common sense. Your argument doesn't end up holding water. AOC says, I want socialism, democratic socialism. Everyone needs to be equal. Everyone needs to have the same, I'm assuming, in their thought process, same house, same TV, same car, same clothes, same everything. There are no rich people. They're all middle of the road. Except in socialism and communism, there's always a hierarchy where there's someone up above regulating everything else is happening down below. So it's not possible to have the equality between everyone. Because if we had an equality between everyone, why would we listen to AOC anymore? Why would you be a voice we listen to? Why would you be at the top of the pyramid? You'd just be the same asshole that the rest of us are. So it's a pyramid scheme, and the ones that suggest it and run it are at the top, and the rest of the suckers are at the bottom. But people can look at history. History still exists. I know the left's trying to erase it, but history still exists. And you can look it up and you can see none of it works. And no, you can't delude yourself into thinking, well, that didn't work. But there is a type of socialism and communism that will work. No, it won't. We're human beings. Someone always has to be on top. Someone has to always be looking down on the rest of the masses. You can't run it that way. So again, anyone that can come on this stream from one side or the other, and you can tell me why you think it's been a good idea to keep voting Democratic in your state. And be honest. If you're selfish and you want the kickbacks and the hookup and the EBT and the welfare and whatever else, just be honest and say that's the reason you do it. But is there a reason that you vote for Democrats that you feel is good for the people and good for the country? Like good for everybody else, not just you, everybody else. Can you make a legitimate argument that you vote for them and that's why? I don't think you can. You can say, well, okay, Matt, the radical Republican. You vote for the election deniers and the racists and all that. Well, break that all down. Explain that to me. The border should be regulated. What's the problem with that? There are people who have come into this country legally. They follow the rules. Why should they have to sit there and watch thousands and millions of other illegals cross the border and just break all the laws, and after breaking the law go, hey, now that I'm here, I'm going to follow all the rules. I just needed to get in. Can you blame me? I just needed to get in. I broke that one. Bad me. Now that I'm in, I pay the taxes, I follow the rules, it's all good. What if I went to another country and I did that? Megyn Kelly. That's the bitch that they're fucking talking to right now. Fucking Megyn Kelly. The name just popped into my head. Fuck that bitch. And she's a Republican bitch anyway. Fuck that bitch. Alright, so... And they got her on the fucking Daily Wire. You know, and I'm disappointed about what I'm seeing. Because they're making excuses and they're saying shit about the end. I haven't even finished the fucking show. And I'm already not sure that I can finish it. But yeah, Megyn Kelly. This fucking cunt. Alright, so... You know, why is it okay if they do that? If I cross the border into another country, am I going to be treated as well as I would be if I snuck across the border into America? I doubt it. And what are the other views of Republicans are bad? They're racist. Racist about what? There's no voter suppression. No one wants inequality. That's democratic bullshit. Everybody's equal. Black people are voting. Latinos are voting. In fact, the people of color are starting to lean more towards Republicans than they are Democrats. Because they're starting to see they've been used. By the Democratic Party, you're told, if you're black, you're never going to be treated fairly. So come in our arms, and we're going to take care of you forever. We're going to give you EBT. We're going to give you handouts. Don't go talk to those Republicans. They don't like you. Now, granted, you can't really achieve anything, but the Democrats here, we're going to make sure that you at least your heads stay above water. That's the Democrats not being racist. That's the Democrats appreciating and recognizing people of color. And the thing is that blacks, Latinos, Cubans, others are starting to figure it out. That's why races are shifting, and especially in Democratic areas. They're going, the Democrats have been blowing smoke up our ass for fucking years. Promises and all this other shit. It's not happening. It's never going to happen. And the bare minimum, the Republicans are saying, hey, you're going to go be your own person, a free person, and you're going to get a shot to have the American dream same as everybody else. And we're not going to blow smoke up your ass. That's a problem for you? The Democrats, they don't want to give you, they want to give you free handouts. Right? Karine Jean-Pierre, the black lesbian who's a fucking idiot. She gets handed a role that she cannot handle, that she is completely unequipped for. This is a boon for people of color? No, it's a joke. It's a disgrace to people of color who could do the job, who could have earned it. They're legitimate. But you delegitimize it by taking someone like that and giving them the job because they were a colored person. Well, then that person doesn't have an accomplishment. It's like just giving me a job because I'm white. Why did I earn it? Because I can do it? No, because you're white. So I'm supposed to go to bed at night and feel good about myself? Because you gave it to me because of my color. That isn't an accomplishment. Everything that the Democratic Party tries to shove down your throats. And I used to be, years and years ago, I used to be a Democratic person. My mother had cancer. She left Florida in the 80s because there was no welfare program. There was no help for anyone. And she came to Massachusetts because she'd get welfare and she'd get help. And that was all Democratic practice. I mean, maybe back then it had a practical use to help people. And then it became a crutch for her. She lived on that. And then we were on that until I got a job and went out on my own. Did my own thing. And that's what the Democrats want you on. They come here. We're going to take care of you. You never have to work. You never have to do anything again. You never have to worry about anything again. Granted, you're not going to live in a mansion. You're not going to go on a cruise. You're not going to fly on another country or go on vacation. You're never going to live a better quality of life. But at the bare minimum, your head will stay above water. You won't drown. Isn't that great? So we went to Massachusetts, and that's where we lived. Until I figured it out, you don't have to fucking live this way. And you don't have to live under you don't have to be scared and live under the Democrats' rule. And that's where they want you. They want you scared and they want you under their rule, under their thumb. Just keep your head right here. Don't pull yourself out of the water. Stay right here so you can breathe. What do you want more than breathing? You're greedy? You want more than to be able to breathe? You're greedy. And the Democrats, in the meantime, they're eating rich, they're living rich, they're making money off stocks. They're fucking living the dream while you're just barely making it by. And these people keep voting for them anyway. And I call bullshit on a lot of it. I think it's a lot of people that they want the Democrats in office because they want those free handouts. The free handouts are from all of us, the taxpayers. We're the ones doing that. And then you wonder why we're upset about it. why we have strong feelings about it. It's our money that's being used to keep everybody's heads above water, and the only thing we want you to do is pull yourself out of the water, try and live on your own. The Democrats don't want that. And so we're the bad guys and the fascists because we want that. So again, anyone that isn't a moocher, anyone that isn't a leech, that's just finding a way to bleed the system and continue on until nothing takes you. Can you legitimately comment on this and tell me that having Democrats in power is a positive thing for everybody? Or the most of the people that you know? And then why? Why is it? I bet you can't. I bet most people can't. I'm going to say, well, hey, you can't trust the Republicans, you can't trust the Democrats. Well, all right. You know, fair enough. There's Republicans I don't trust either. Adam Kinzinger, the crybaby piece of shit that's on the January 6th committee, that isn't running for re-election because he knows he'd never get it. I don't trust that fuck. Liz Cheney, the daughter of Dick Cheney. I never fucking trusted Dick Cheney. I sure as fuck don't trust Liz Cheney. She's a Republican. You can say I follow them across the board. I don't. Liz Cheney's a piece of shit. She's a traitor. She turned on her party. She turned on the people. But she never cared about the people. She's joined the Democrats in the January 6th Commission because she's losing all that and she's a smart person. She knew she would. So she has to find another avenue to follow. That other avenue is joining the anti-Trumpers, attacking Trump, turning on her party while claiming she's trying to help the party, and then joining the Democrats who are helping. They're helping America. Pelosi's a good person. There's another Republican shitbag right there. I just gave you a couple of them. McConnell, Cheney, Kinzinger. I just gave you a couple of them. The Democrats are bad. The Republicans are bad too. But a new era of people who are that affiliation and understand what's going on and listen to the voice of the people is what we need. And that's happening with Blake Masters. It's happening with Kerry Lake. It's happening with J.D. Vance. It's happening with others that are trying. And it still gets to my point that it boggles my mind that people are still voting and even boasting on Twitter, voting blue, Democrat across the board. Right? And normally a lot of them are well-to-do, making good money. They're not having any financial problems. They don't care that they got to pay more money for food. They don't care that they got to pay more money for gas. They don't have any kids, or they already trans their kids. So who cares if more kids are getting trans? They've already done it all. They're not losing anything by supporting the Democrats. They love this shit, and they're part of the clique, and they're going to keep sailing on smooth seas as part of the clique, while all the rest of you suffer. And again, I don't know why you vote for that. I don't vote the way Hollywood goes. I don't vote the way the left-wing nut jobs go. I don't vote the way the Democrats go. Anything that they're doing, you can be pretty comfortable. They're doing the opposite that's the best interest for you. So again, anyone that can come on here, email the show, reliefvalvepodcast@aol.com, comment on this live stream, and give me a legit explanation as to why voting any Democrat at all, really. If there's a common sense one, I'd love to hear it. But voting any Democrat at all, back into office or a new one into office, benefits your life without leeching off the people and the taxpayers in this country. If you can give me a legit argument why it helps you, I'd love to hear it. All right, so I'm going fucking dry in my throat. I need another drink. And it's already 12:30 in the morning. So, there are still things that need to come in. There are still races that are probably not going to solidify until the morning. And I'm not going to run until fucking 1 a.m. to get all this. So the red wave, at least from what I'm seeing right now, has become a red trickle, or at the minimum a red tide. The tide came in, but it didn't wash anything significant away. So it looks like the Republicans are going to take the House. The Senate is still going to be a toss-up. And really, to make some more significant changes, we needed both significantly. And that isn't, at least to me right now, it doesn't appear to be happening. But stuff is still coming in. So I can't call that, I can't call it 100%. That's not right for me to call it 100%. So you got the House races here. Indiana, 1st District. Frank Mervyn there, 52 to 47 over the Republican Jennifer Ruth Green. 80% of the vote in. So if he stays ahead of it, he's going to take Indiana's first. New York 17. Michael Lawler is leading over Sean Patrick Maloney. Lawler's a Republican. 94% of the vote in is, so he might be able to take New York 17th if he keeps going. Virginia has gone to Jen Keegan's, 52% to Elaine Luria's 47%. Virginia 7th has gone to Abigail Spanberger. So they like transing their kids and getting abused over there in Virginia 7th. 51% to Yesley Vega's 48%, 98% reporting in currently. Virginia's 10th are also enjoying an ass kicking. Jennifer Wexton, 52% to Hung Kao's 47% with 98% reporting. Ohio's 1st. Greg Landsman, the Democrat, is leading 52-41 to Steve Chabot's 47%, 93% reporting. Ohio's is also going Democrat. Here, Ohio's 9th. Marcy Kaptor, 56 to J.R. Majewski's 43. New Hampshire's 1st has Chris Pappas leading to Caroline Levitt with 75% of the voting in. So they could fluctuate a little bit, but it looks like it might go Democrat. Pennsylvania 7th, Susan Wild, 50% to Lisa Cheller's 49. Pennsylvania's 8th, Matt Cartwright, 51% going to Jim Bognet's 48. Washington's 8th, Kim Schreier, Washington State. Washington's 8th, Kim Schreier, 52% going to Matt Larkin's 47. As these ones that I'm reading you, they are not closed. The polls are closed, but they haven't called a winner yet. That's at 58% reporting. Montana's 1st, Monica Trainell, 53% to Ryan Zink's 43 with only 27% reporting. Colorado's 3rd, Adam Frisch, 51 to Lauren Boebert's 48. I was hoping, Lauren Boebert is a great woman. I was hoping she'd do a little better, but 77%'s in, and Adam Frisch is probably going to take it. Nevada's 1st, Dina Titus. There's nothing coming in there. Nevada, again, nothing's coming in there. We're going to have to report on Nevada later, whenever I can get to it. North Carolina looks like it's going to, and is going to go to, North Carolina's 13th district. It's going to go to Wiley Nickel with 98% reporting in over Bo Hines. Connecticut's 5th is kind of neck and neck. Connecticut's 5th here. Good for the Connecticut's 5th here. George Logan is neck and neck with Johanna Hayes, 61% reporting. Florida's is Smart. They've gone Republican. Maine is again, they're the moose are in the way and they can't figure out what's going on. So Jared Golden is 48 to Bruce Poliquin's 44 with 72% of the vote in. Texas is 28th. This must be the Brokeback Mountain portion of Texas. Henry Cooler is winning 56 to Cassie Garcia's 43 with 78% reporting in at this point. It just changed. Texas is 34th. Vicente Gonzalez, 52, is beating Myra Flores's 44, at least for now, with 86% in. So I don't know how much fluctuation is going to happen there, but that's disappointed because I know Myra was a good person too. Iowa, Zach Noon is just barely. How the fuck can you not win Iowa? But Zach Noon is just barely beating Cindy Axe with 92% in. They might just crawl away with that. Kansas City, Sharice Davids, 54 to Amanda Adkins, 42. Michigan 7th, Tom Barrett, 54, going to Elisa Slotkins, 43. 56% of that vote in, so that's still going as well. Michigan's 8th, Danielle Kildee, 48% to Paul June, 47% with 49% currently reported, so that's still a battle there as well. Minnesota, Tyler Kistner, 50% to Angie Craig's 45, with 30% of the reporting in, so Minnesota's still going. New Mexico is still pretty close too. Yvette Harrell to Gabrielle Vasquez, 50 to 49, 85% in. So that's a fight coming right down to the wire. California's 22nd, David Villado, 50% to Rudy Salas, 49 with 21% in. That's still a fight too. California's 47th, Katie Porter, 57 to Scott Bowes, 42. California's 49th. Michael Levin, 56 to Brian Merritt's 43 with 44% in. So California's still got, some of their districts have got a fight on their hand too. Alaska's still frozen in snow or gotten eaten by polar bears. So the governor races. Here's some good news here that isn't really shocking. Kemp has beaten Stacey Abrams, the once and future governor of Georgia. Stacey Abrams has lost twice. I'm sure she's going to insist that, in fact, she has won twice. But Stacey Abrams failed wholeheartedly. 53% to Brian Kemp, 45 to Stacey Abrams. 95% of the reporting in is pretty much over. So Kemp has kept Georgia. Arizona, Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake. We're finally getting some info from Arizona. 56% going to Hobbs, who has done nothing. Is running the election somehow illegally. She's in charge of voting integrity, and thinks you should be able to do to get abortions up to at least 50 years old to your child. When they're 50 and they've moved out, you can still abort them. Katie Hobbs has no opinion on abortion at all, and somehow in Arizona, unless their brains have been baked, I don't really know. She's 56 to Carrie Lake's 43 currently, with less than half in for the reporting, 48.33%. So Carrie Lake is projected to win. I'm going to be really surprised if Hobbs, who is basically has refused to debate Carrie Lake and has refused to come up with anything comprehensive to help Arizona, wins anyway. That would be very surprising to me. So with less than half in, I'm hoping that these numbers are going to change overnight and Carrie Lake takes it. In Michigan, 50% of the vote is in currently. Whitmore is leading Tudor Dixon, 50 to 48%. And I'm hoping there's still more sway coming in there and then Dixon still has a chance. Nevada has, God knows what's happening with Nevada. They exploded in the sun maybe. Florida, we know Ron DeSantis won, just in case I didn't say that earlier, and he beat Charlie Crist wholeheartedly, 59.48% to 39.87%. So Charlie Crist was a left-wing shitbag, and everyone in Florida told him so. In New York, Katie Hochul appears to have won, 53.29% to Lee Zeldin's, the Republicans, 46 to 71%. With 87% reporting, which shows that New York citizens are among the dumbest people on the planet. South Dakota, they love crime, they love being shot, pushed onto train tracks, abused, and they would like some more please and thank you. So, and enjoy that, New York. New York, you get absolutely everything that you ask and are voting for. South Dakota, Christine Nome is winning heartedly. South Dakota's a red state. 63-65 to Jamie Smith's 33-59, with 71% of the vote in at this point. In Illinois, they love shootings, they love gang violence, they love kids getting shot. J.B. Pritzker is winning, 55.6 to Darren Bailey's 42.13%, with 78% of the vote in. So Illinois, enjoy more of that gang violence. You absolutely have earned it. New Hampshire. Chris Sununu is taking it wholeheartedly as well, the Republican. He's beat Tom Sherman with 69% of the vote in 56 to 42. It looks like he's well comfortably in the lead. Arkansas, again, just kind of reiterating some of these. Sarah Huckabee Sanders has pretty much taken it as well. 62% to Chris Jones, 35, and with 86% of the reporting in. South Carolina, Henry McMaster, 57 to Joe Cunningham's 41, and McMaster is taking it. Looks like South Carolina will be red. Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro is taking it. He's the shitbag Democrat. He's taking it 54 to Douglas Mastriano, who was a serviceman and a patriot, and he had a great message. And everyone was, Pennsylvania was, I'm going to assume I'm going to get shot over the weekend. So get away with that, Mastriano. I like Shapiro. I like the same shit I'm getting. Again, if you can pull your heads out of your fucking asses and explain to me why you like the crime, the violence, and the shit that you're going through, I would absolutely love to hear your fucked up mindset, because it blows my mind. I can't figure it out. So Pennsylvania, you have won exactly what you deserve. The continuation of the crime, murders, theft, and etc. Ohio, Mike DeWine has taken it 62 to Non Whaley, 37, 94% reporting. And let's see with, just for the shit of it, in Pennsylvania, 82.38% reporting. And I doubt that's going to really shore up quickly, so it looks like Shapiro takes it. Maine, the Moose are still on the way. Janet Mills, 54 to Paul LePage's 43, with 75% of the vote in. So, you know, the Democrats and the Moose win in Maine. And there's just all the more reason not to go to Maine. Kansas, Laura Kelly, in a very close kind of toss-up here, 49.7 to Derek Schmidt's 47.17, with 94% in. So that's going to come right down to the wire. I don't know if they'll be able to contest that. We'll see. New Mexico, which is basically Mexico, is Michelle Lujan Grisam, is 51% to Mark Ronchetti's 46, with 83% in. They're staying Democrat. Colorado, just in case anyone was shocked, seems like it's staying Democrat as well. 66 reporting in. Jared Polis, 58 to Heidi Ganal's 39. Now, you know, one of the factors is, and we've talked about this earlier, that the Republicans ran poor candidates in some of these, that they could have really had a chance to beat shitty Democrats, and they didn't get somebody out there that had a great message. I don't know a lot about some of those people that I've read off to you. I'm going to assume they ran poorly if they're losing. I mean, Democrats are destroying the country, and you're a Republican that just be able to walk in and go, "Hi, everybody," and you can't win all of the votes. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Oregon, 56% of the vote in. Tina Kotek is at 45. Christine Drazen is at 44. So that's pretty close. Oregon's still in play. Alaska has frozen to death. There's nothing happening. Their polls close at 1 a.m. and apparently they're not legally obligated to put numbers in because they're at complete zero. So I'm assuming the polar bears have eaten all of the poll workers, and there's no information. The polar bears are running wild. I haven't gotten any information about Alaska all night, and for some reason, between the drinks and the time, it's hilarious to me. So the polar bears ate everyone at all the polling stations in Alaska, and nothing's happening. It's going to go back to Russia. Alaska goes back to Russia because no one's left after the polar bears. Texas, Greg Abbott took it wholeheartedly from Beto, dude. Beto. I rode my skateboard with the other hippies, and I was going to take your guns, and you fucked me, man. It's like, you fucking idiot. As my Albanian buddy says at work, is big dummy. Dummy bitch. Beto will work, a dummy bitch. So I hope that he's done. I don't know what he's going to run for next. Manager at McDonald's is possible. So Greg Abbott takes it 55.45 to O'Rourke's 43-26, and shame on the Texans that voted at all for Beto O'Rourke. So there you go. There's the updates I have for you right now. I could refresh it and we could do it all again, but who the fuck wants to do that? Honestly, it's almost 1 a.m. Half of you probably don't even give a fuck. This thing is still going on. Is anyone even watching this anymore? I have no idea. I'm gonna go to my just for the fucking shit of it. We're gonna drop any sense of professionalism that we had. And I'm gonna check the feed and see if there's anything on there. One person's watching. How fucking exciting is that? I hope some more check in later on. Drop a comment. Let me know why Democrats are fucking idiots. Other than what I already know. Maybe there's some information I don't know. Right? Life is a learning process. If any Democrat's going to explain to me why you're so stubbornly brain dead, I'm interested in listening merely out of the morbid curiosity of the entire thing. If you could explain to me your thought process, it'd be fucking, I don't know if it'd be amazing, but at least I'd be like, really? I suppose it makes sense if I put my head up my ass and turn it sideways. But, okay, so, you know, it's really gonna, what the fuck is this shit? Oh, this is that guy that changes people's photos and fucks with them when they complain about something, and he changes it. See, for most of the night, I was fucking with some people on Twitter, and now I'm just tired of it. Thank you, New York! Go fuck yourselves! I look forward to seeing you pushed on subway tracks very soon. Fucking cunt. Stacey Abrams here's a left-wing shitbag. Stacey Abrams has called Brian Kemp to concede. I am proud to be a Democrat because she's one. There's no explanation there as to where his thought process is. Lauren Boebert, who's behind right now, unless she knows something I don't right now. Red wave has begun. Congratulations to Congressman Real Anna Paulina. America First is winning. Okay. CBS News estimates the governor race in Arizona moves from toss-up to lean Democrat. It's unbelievable. Hobbs has done nothing but say you can get up abortions up to 40, and I'm not going to debate anyone or do anything else. And somehow she is leading Kerry Lake. That's unbelievable. My assumption is Arizona has baked too much in the sun and has lost their minds. That's the only thing I can think of that is at least somewhat rational. John Stewart says vote today. The leftist fucking retard. Yeah, we are voting today, asshole. We're trying to get rid of all of you. Owner of the site and pig odds for election night. Orderly obtain buses. Cancel the party. Fetterman, who he's not even mentally capable of typing on Twitter, so I have to assume it's one of his group that's doing that. Michigan governor just called for Whitmore 32 minutes ago, so that's concerning. Yeah, Tim Young saying no one should oversee an election that they are in. He's referring to Hobbs in the Kerry Lake one, and he's correct. She should have nothing to do with any election protocols at all. Arizona Governor 48 reporting Hobbs 56, Lake 43. And Kelly 58, Masters 39. Yeah, so Arizona, there's something very odd, in my opinion, not just because Republicans are losing and upset about it, but there's something very concerning about what's going in with Arizona, because they've already had several issues today between Maricopa County and others with the voting. And the way that these numbers are changing here is just, it's odd and it's very concerning about how the Arizona election is going. So I guess we'll have to get more follow-up as time goes on. I voted for more boobs. Yeah, me too, chick. Somebody else is saying Arizona is a completely rigged election. This is insanity. 57 for Katie Hobbs. Give me a break. Nobody in this state supports Katie Hobbs. This country has zero election integrity anymore. You know, and it's just difficult to say, you know. I don't know if everything's fair and square over there, or there's some other issues, or there's voting information irregularity. You know, Myra Flores is one of the other candidates that I told you about. She's predicting red wave, but this was 16 hours ago, so, you know, a lot of things changing. Democracy isn't having the worst night. Yes, it is, if Democrats stay in office. Well, did all the people in Pennsylvania have a stroke along with Fetterman? What the actual fuck? I've had that same fucking question for all night since I've been seeing some of these numbers. Has everyone gone stroke brain dead like Fetterman? Are there that many stupid people in Pennsylvania, or are all the criminals voting so they can, the very next day, they can go out and rob, rape, and burn stuff down? I don't follow Circleback Saki. She's just showing up in this shit. I really thought Beto would pull it out. Sad to hear that Abbott has been reelected. I really thought Beto would pull it out. This is how dumb... this should be how stupid Democrats are in one post. Is this one right here. Squad member AOC cruises to re-election in New York. I suppose I shouldn't be shocked. See, Shapiro saying candidate quality matters. So, what he's trying to say is less that these Democrats had a chance to win, and it's more that the Republicans had poor candidates. And I think it's definitely a mix of both. I think Republicans ran some poor candidates in some places, but also you can't discount the idiot voters who think that these Democrats are viable, useful people. It's like, well, I'm going to vote for them, and then I'm going to stick my head back in the sand, and I'm going to go back to what was happening before. Like, that's your strategy for life? And I think that's what it really is. Like, I got AOC back in office. I feel good. I'm going to go back to Burger King. I'm not shitting on people that work at Burger King, but you don't have any care or ambition on what's happening in your life, in your district, in your city, in your state? You don't fucking care? You put someone like AOC back in and you go, we won! No, you didn't! Fucking idiots. Hodge twins are saying they can't cheat enough to stop this red wave, but I'm not seeing the red wave that they're suggesting. I am ready for Nancy Pelosi to leave. Terrence Williams is correct. I'm going to be very happy to see. And you know what's funny is she's been on the Ministry of Truth here. These leftist morons. This was 10 o'clock. Stacey Abrams set to win the gubernatorial election in Georgia with 43% of the vote. Fucking leftist idiots. And she lost. She's already conceded to Kemp. So this is these fucking morons. So, you know, a lot more is going to come out. The finalization, at least the most of it, is going to come out in the morning. So we'll wait for those. I'm not going to stay up that long. It's almost 1 a.m. I have work tomorrow, or today, I guess, technically. So, and kind of wrapping it up here, the Republicans have gotten some wins. Not as much as was projected, at least what it looks like to me right now. But they have gotten the wins. They're going to take the House, it looks like, and then the Senate is going to be real, you know, kind of wishy-washy. And there was another political pundit that was saying that, yes, with the House, we can now take over in January and start impeaching Joe Biden. But if we don't have the majority to move it forward in the Senate, the impeachment just doesn't happen. It runs out of steam when it hits the Senate. And with the numbers the way they're looking right now, that's not going to happen. And Biden needs to be impeached. He's done illegal things. When you go to Saudi Arabia and you tell them, ramp up your oil production so that it makes my party look better for the midterms, you know, quid pro quo here, and then it falls through, Saudi Arabia blows up your spot and tells everyone, and then says you were using your power as president to make a deal with another country that would benefit your party. I mean, that's impeachment 101 right there. I mean, never mind the kickbacks he gets from Hunter Biden and the money he's made from China, Ukraine, and stuff like that. I mean, that one thing alone between him and Saudi Arabia is impeachable, and it's even more frustrating that we may not be able to move forward with it. We can vote for it in the House and move it forward to the Senate, and then it loses steam in the Senate. So they impeached Trump twice under false allegations and pretenses, and that was shot down. But we can impeach him in the House, move it to the Senate, and then it's just going to run out of steam right there because there won't even be enough votes to move forward. Because we couldn't take it because of idiot voters and poor Republican candidates. That's a frustrating thing because Biden has a corrupt regime. He himself is corrupt. His family's corrupt. And he needs to be held responsible for what he's doing and what he's done to this country. And he needs to pay the proper penalty for it. And based on this outcome, it's probably not going to happen. And that's disappointing. And, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what it takes to wake people up. As strongly as I feel about voting for Republicans and that we need a change and this Republican change is how strongly these people who are Democrats feel that Democrats need to stay in office. And that's how you come to an impasse in politics and in life in your country. That's how this country came to its first civil war. It was an impasse. We can all argue and break down the morality of the situation that got our forefathers to that point, to that civil war. I mean, we know it's wrong. We know to enslave human beings is wrong. That's obvious. But the fundamental bottom line of all of it was a disagreement between two major sides of the country that brought them to civil war. And they fought each other bloody to try and figure out whose idea would move forward and whose wasn't, and etc. And we could be there now. I don't know. But this is where you keep trying to come up with solutions. You keep trying to fix a situation. And you keep discussing, arguing, debating, voting, and it doesn't happen. Right? You get a half-assed solution on this side, you get a half-assed solution on the other side, and then when you both hit and meet in the middle, it's not really decisive, one way or the other. And that's where civil wars happen. Because if one side can't persuade the other side, and there's no more discussion, there's no more argument, there's no more discussion that's going to turn into a relevant change. Where do you go from there? Do you let bygones be bygones? Do you go, well, hey, you know what? Fair enough. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. Let's just move forward and live life with that. When one side is affecting another side adversely, or they feel like that one side is affecting another side adversely. Where do you go when you can't talk anymore? Where do you go when there aren't any more solutions? You have to make one final one. And I wonder if every day we inch closer to that, especially with this midterm just being so, it ended up being kind of wishy-washy. Some people haven't figured it out. Some others did. All we did is we shifted here and we went here and then we went over there. There was no big change to take the country in another direction. And this is how people lose faith and they go, vote, why? Participate, why? Care, why? I'll work, I'll pay my taxes, and when I'm in the ground, I won't give a fuck. That's no way to live life. So it's about 1 a.m. now. It's 12:59. I'll be curious to see what some of the roundup of everything is in the morning, 9, 10 a.m. And I'm sure all of you will see some of that too. I'm not going to go back. I mean, I live stream maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, just kind of a catch up because I'm going to be tired. I got to sleep, right? So does everybody else is still bothered to stay up to this point. But we'll catch up at least with the live stream in the next day or two, and I'll do the live stream and the audio show on Friday to kind of just wrap up the rest of the week. But here you go. Here's the show. Here's the midterm show. My crazy, buzzed, nicotine-fueled rant. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. Or any leftist shitbags out there that want to explain to me, want to take their head out of their ass for a minute and explain to me what the fuck you're thinking. I'd be interested to hear it. But there you go. Comment on the stream or email the show at reliefvalvepodcast@aol.com. Thanks for everybody that's followed with us and stuck with us throughout the whole night. Thank you. I'm glad that we were able to stream and kind of take the show to the next level. We definitely gained some more listeners and viewers tonight. I saw the numbers tick up, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy that I got to do this. We'll keep following the pocket. We'll keep following the politics right up to the apocalypse. So enjoy it with me. In the meantime, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Get some sleep. It's all fucked up anyway. So, my fucking thing dead. Okay, there we go. All right, have a good night, everyone. I'm going to bed. Fuck the rest of this shit. We'll catch up with it in the morning or fucking Thursday or something, and we'll get all the answers. All right, so this is the most updates I can give you for at least right now. All right, have a good night.